Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Landrey.
And I'm Shae.
Anything exciting going on?
Not in my life personally, but it's Scream Week. Scream 7 just came out on Friday.
I'm excited.
I know.
They sponsored part of the Supercross or Supercross and then were involved somehow, I think with Troy Lee Designs or something.
Really?
And so not at Arlington, the race before that, the announcer had on a Scream mask and then ripped it off and then.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I actually, on Peacock or Paramount right now, in the top, you know how it always be the top 10 movies streaming,
Mm-hmm.
7 of them are Scream.
Hell
it's
yeah.
the top 7 Screams, and then it's 3 other random.
That's right. Scream is superior.
Elite.
That's what I've been saying. Elite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gone to see it yet. I was supposed to go see it today, but I'm scheduled to work this evening, so I don't know. We may go see it early.
Yeah.
May go see it early today. I want to go see it so bad. One of my friends went and saw it last night. A couple of the people in the Discord saw it last night.
Oh, I didn't read any of that.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about it.
They say it's worth it?
Mm-hmm. Alyssa said it
there's-
was good. She said there was a lot of jump scares, which I'm all about.
Oh. There's some of the Scream movies that I'm eh.
The original ones are obviously better.
Yeah.
The best. The last couple were decent.
Yeah.
They're okay. But I'm excited to see Scream 7 because of all the hype that's been around it.
Did you ever watch the Scream TV show?
No, I did not.
Okay, you should go back and watch that.
Really?
Yeah, that was good. I remember watching it.
Was that Scream Queens?
No, it's just Scream.
Oh.
It's actually just a TV series called Scream. And it's the killer, everything.
I don't know that I never
It was on
realized
MTV.
that.
Yeah. I think it only has 2 seasons, but I watched it, I want to say senior year and then going into college that summer.
No, I bet I would love it. That's why I'm wearing my Scream pants today.
Oh.
Because it's Scream Week.
Well, I bought the same pair of pants and they were on a medium hanger. And when I got home, they were definitely not mediums.
And they already are
Snug.
they're snug.
Because they're thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were smalls and I'm not small. So they did not fit.
I love them. They're so coughed.
I mean, I'll
Coughed? Soft and comfy.
Coughed?
Coughed.
I'll wear them, but they kind of leave indentions.
They do it on me too, girl.
But they're warm. They're
They
super
are.
thick.
Mm-hmm.
Love. Ew, we said that at the same time. Feels illegal.
This is illegal.
No, I don't think I've got anything else exciting either. Other than for Supercross last night, I made 92 points.
Ooh, clock it.
Yeah, I'm beating Dad and Caden. The only person that's in front of me is one of my dad's friends.
That's amazing. I am waiting very patiently and impatiently for the first race of the season. F1.
I think I'm going to try and get into it.
There's a fantasy.
I think I'm going to try and get into
I
it.
have 3 teams.
With how much I like Supercross, I think that
You'll like it.
I could get into it. Because I'm not we played fantasy football, but I don't really watch, I never even watched any of the games. I checked stats specifically and I think I got second. It was you and then me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I literally got to second place by checking statistics.
And I was fighting for my life the whole season.
Yeah.
And I was like, if she beats me, I'm jumping off a bridge.
I'm going to be real mad. Because I just looked at the numbers and would just move stuff around based off that. But I never watched football. I used to watch baseball as a kid, but I'll go to my nephew's baseball games and I'm ready to scream at some 9-year-olds. And then after that, no. But I think with how intent I watch Supercross, I watch all day Saturday practice, qualifying, LCQ.
Yeah.
I watch everything.
And that's how F1 is too. They do practice, they do free practice, qualifying, and then race day.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a sprint weekend in there where they'll have a little sprint race and stuff like that. It's elite. So follow us for our sports podcast too.
Apparently. Big sports girls.
Big sports girls over here. Motorsport girls. We should probably just say that. Motorsport.
Big dirt bike girl.
Yeah. Vroom, vroom.
Yes. Anyways, this week, I am going to be talking about an exorcism.
Ooh, I'm so proud of you.
I know. I did the research. I didn't go outside for the research, but I did have like the windows open, sunlight in the house, husband home. The only time I got nervous.
Perfect storm.
Yes. So I felt safe. The only time I got nervous about it is like last night whenever I was laying down and Aaron left the room and like turned the light off. So the door was cracked into a dark hallway. And I was like, we were just talking about how much I hate this. And I got up and went and turned the lamp on in the living room.
Period.
Because I was like, I'm not doing that.
No, we're not playing that game.
No. And our master bedroom, I have, like, you walk in the door and in the very far left corner is a fan. And so when the lights are off, it kind of looks like a nice little shape.
A figure.
And I just moved the fan there like 3 days ago. And so I'm not used to it yet. And so anytime I start to like open that door and it's dark, I'm like, ugh. Ugh.
Just a fan.
Yeah, so that makes me a little uneasy. But outside of that,
it's fine.
I feel like I handled it.
It'll be
well.
over after this is over.
Yeah, there's only like one part of this story that like sticks in my brain. The rest of it I can handle.
I'm ready for it. I'm excited. I'm so proud of you for doing this.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So it is the Exorcism of Cindy Sauer.
Okay.
It happened in 2010 in Social Circle, Georgia.
Ooh.
Does that feel too relevant?
Yeah,
or what?
it does. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she had just lost her husband, like he had just passed away, and it left her to raise their teenage daughter, who was named Chastity, on her own. So Chastity seemed to be like 15, 16, kind of like not young teen, but not like 18-year-old either. So Cindy's husband, Jim, had been the main provider of their household. She hadn't really had to work. And when he passed away, she did have to start working now. And she started to work as a singer in a band. She would sing like on nights and on the weekends and just like would make ends meet by doing that. Seemed like she said she started to feel like she actually started to get included in like the town more and like just be more sociable, I guess. I guess maybe before her husband passed away, she wasn't as social. Maybe she was just at home with husband and kid. And so she was starting to like feel like she was fitting in now. And probably fitting in more after the loss of her husband, not like just getting out of the house, not saying like because he's passed away, but the healing part of it.
Yeah.
So she's starting to heal, it seems like. And this is kind of where the story starts, is right as she's starting to like find her groove in the world without having her husband there and being a single mom now and just kind of getting it together, right? So one day, Cindy came home with groceries, which is as normal of an act as you could have, right? And she was in the kitchen putting away her groceries. She asked her daughter, hey, will you go get the rest out of the car while I unload? And I'm going to start putting these away while you bring these in. And she's standing at the kitchen counter. And all of a sudden she feels something like rushing up behind her before it grabs the back of her, like her arms and her shoulders. You know how you're not facing it. It came up behind her, grabbed her like that and held her. And she turned around to be like, whoa, why did you sneak up on me like that, to her daughter? And when she turned around, no one was there. And she was like, okay, I'm just going to write that off.
Yeah.
We're not going to think about that. We're not going to worry about that. But that sounds horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be able to write that off. Like if I was standing in my kitchen and felt the presence of someone coming quickly at me and then physically both shoulders, like she said, you could feel hands on both shoulders, like touch, like holding her.
Unless you could like write that off as like, oh, it's just Jim.
Yeah, I miss him.
It's just my husband.
I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Like to believe that I could, but I don't know. Maybe if you're still like super emotional about it.
Yeah, that's where my
maybe.
brain went.
Whew. Well, she
still don't like it.
No.
I still would be upset, but like maybe it's just him. Who knows?
Maybe it's my husband. Maybe.
Cut that out, Jim.
Yeah, please don't ever do that again.
Now's not the time.
No. And so, like I said, it kind of like startled her, but she was like, I'm going to let it go. And she needed to start getting ready for work anyways. And so she asked her daughter, she said, hey, will you like finish putting away the groceries? And I'm going to go upstairs and get ready for work. I got to go do my hair, get dressed, whatever, all the things. So Chastity was putting away all the groceries and then made herself some food, which I also feel like is the number one thing you do when you get groceries.
Always.
You eat everything good that you just bought. So she made a plate of food, sat down at their table and was just like looking out. And their kitchen had these windows that looked into their backyard. And so Chastity's looking out those windows, and all of a sudden, her dad is standing outside. Between the windows, there's like the backyard is windows, some like grass. It kind of looks like not dense woods, but like shrubbery type stuff. And then there's a shed that used to be her dad's. And he's kind of standing near the shed more.
Okay.
But she sees him and she's like, what is this? This what? Like, that's so weird to me. And so she gets up and she starts walking closer to the window. And he starts to look still like her father, but different.
Okay.
Like darker, creepier,
okay,
scarier. Scares the shit out of her at this
something's
point.
wrong.
Yeah. She can feel like that ain't it. And she starts screaming, terrified, rightfully so. So then Cindy comes downstairs and is like, what is going on? And Chastity's like, I just saw Dad. He was outside. I know it was him, but it seemed weird, all the things. And Cindy's like, okay, well, I'll go look. If it makes you feel better, I'll go. And it's middle of the day. It's not nighttime.
Okay.
And she's like, I'll go look. I'll investigate. I'll make sure that
nothing's out
there. It's okay. And so Cindy does. She goes and she's walking around outside, kind of walks through the grass and walks around the shed a little bit and makes it to the entrance of the shed. And she was like, wanted to go in there and remembrance of her husband. So she went in there and there was a lug nut sitting on the countertop. And she was like, oh, it's just a sign from him. And then the lug nut itself like lifted and not necessarily was thrown at her, but it landed at her feet. Like it just kind of carried itself over to her feet. And she's like, oh, it was certainly Jim now. Like this has all been him.
Yeah.
He was a mechanic. It makes sense. She mentioned she'd helped him work on changing tires and work on vehicles. So she was like, this just makes sense that it's like a part of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we're just experiencing Jim.
He's telling us that he's here.
Yes. And which at this point in time, I learned that Jim had passed away from suicide.
Oh.
He had apparently been an alcoholic. They didn't mention him being like a mean alcoholic or anything like that. But he had been an alcoholic and passed away from suicide. So that also could definitely cause some like emotions. And she didn't know why, like what, like she was like, I knew he drank, but like, I don't know why he would have harmed himself. Like that was never something that we saw happening.
Yeah.
But anyways, she took this encounter as like him saying, I'm still here. And it kind of brought her a little bit of comfort. And so she was kind of cool with it.
Cool. Yeah, of course.
And now at this point in time, a few months go by where nothing's really happening. Everything seems to be like normal. And again, they're starting to just continue to grow into the society, grow into like their city
new life,
and figuring out, new life. And so Cindy now is starting to date again because she wasn't looking for anything. She wasn't, looking for a relationship, but she met a man named Brett and he was a pastor.
Okay.
And he wasn't looking for anything. And they just were able to spend their time together and they had a lot in common. They could talk very freely and openly with one another. And they just fell for each other pretty quickly. It just felt right.
Mm-hmm.
And so one afternoon, Brett is at Cindy's house and they're sitting on the back porch around some candlelight, enjoying some drinks. It's not dark outside, but it's not light outside. It's that
dusk.
weird like 8 o'clock hour where it's getting kind of, what you said.
Like dusk, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting kind of murky outside.
Mm-hmm.
And Cindy goes inside to get them another drink. She's like, oh, let me go get us another drink. And out of Brett's periphery, he sees like a shadow in the same area as the shed as where Chastity had already seen her father. And he sees like this shadow kind of in his periphery. So he turns around and he's like, hey, who's there? Like, why is someone in this backyard right now? But he does out loud, who's there?
Yeah.
And when he turns around, there's nothing there. And so he was like, well, that's kind of odd because he expected to see
somebody standing there.
A human, somebody standing there who had ventured into the backyard. And Cindy came outside and was like, hey, what's going on? What was that about? And he was like, I thought I saw someone, but I guess not. And she's like, you could see it kind of put her on edge. She's like, oh, let's go inside.
Yeah.
So they go inside. They kind of just went on about their evening. They're watching a movie. And when they're watching a movie, Cindy starts to hear this just like whooshing sound. And she's asking Brett, like, do you not hear that? He's like, no, I don't hear that. But then the doorbell gets knocked on, or the front door gets knocked on 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what is going on right now? Like, it's so late in the night. No one should be knocking on the door. And so Brett gets up, checks the door to know, nobody's there, of course.
Right.
And they just kind of mark it off. They're like, whatever. And she then at that point, whenever he sits back down with her, she's like, do you believe in the paranormal? And he's like, well, yeah. I mean, I had experiences as a kid and I think the paranormal is kind of exciting. So like, yeah, I definitely believe in it. And she was like, I kind of think I'm having experiences and I think it's my ex, or not my ex, my late husband. I think he's still here.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of think it's him. Mm-hmm. And I think he's what's going on. Like, I think that was just him. I think that's what's going on right now. And Brett was excited about it. He was like, oh, well, I like the paranormal, so that's cool with me. And I didn't get the gist that Cindy liked the paranormal that much, but she was like, well, Halloween's coming up in a couple of weeks. Maybe we should go do some paranormal investigations at like real haunted houses, which I'm like, girl, you're living in a real haunted house right now. What are you talking about? But she wants to go to a real, and he's like, hell yeah, like, let's do it. So they're excited about the prospect of Halloween and upcoming ghost hunts.
Okay, vibes.
Yes. So while they're downstairs this same night, they're continuing on with their night. Chastity is peacefully asleep upstairs until it's not so peaceful anymore. She starts to have a nightmare, and she is standing in her parents' door to their bedroom. Her dad is sitting on the end of his bed, crying, just distraught, with a gun laid beside him. And he just is so upset. But there's nothing she can do. She's just seeing it happen. And then all of a sudden she sees a black figure mass form beside her dad. And she could feel the presence of that.
Ooh.
She was like, that thing is evil. I can feel it. I can sense it. It's wrong.
Yeah.
And it helps her father pick up the gun and put it to his head. So she wakes up screaming.
Ew.
Because she just saw this dream of her father.
Yeah.
And this black mass making her father do this. So she wakes up screaming. So now Brett and Cindy run upstairs. What is going on? Are you okay? Chastity tells the story. And the mom is like, that's really scary, but I'm more concerned about my daughter now. So they left the house for the night, like went and got ice cream, kind of just like left. And there's a place that she said stayed open 24 hours. So they were able to go there. And like just went and hung out. And then at this point, Cindy's like, we should probably move houses now. Like, I feel like we need to get past the trauma of this. Like, she thought her daughter maybe was just still living in the trauma of what happened to her father.
Right.
Because the effects of stuff like that definitely does last.
Yeah.
And the dreams like that are very real.
Yes.
And so she was like, I think we should try and maybe just start even more fresh. Like, really try it even more new. So she's starting to look for houses. Now, like I said, Cindy's trying to find a new house, and she's just driving around Social Circle, Georgia, looking for sale signs, rent signs, anything, just looking for something different. And she ends up on some back road, on some random driveway, and is just like following whatever, and ends up at this very abandoned house. And she thinks it's so cool. She's like, I felt drawn to it. It felt like just abandoned. Like it was like the typical horror movie.
Yeah, literally.
Run down, plants growing out of it. Like,
but it's calling to her.
But she was drawn to it. She's like, this is so interesting. I want to come back and ghost hunt here. Okay. So while she's standing there, she calls Brett and she's like, this is the house we're going to come back to at Halloween. Because
on Halloween. Okay.
I ended up here randomly and it just feels like the right move. We need to do this. And he was like, okay, cool. I'm excited. Let's do it. What's your thoughts?
I just don't think that that's the kind of instinct that you should follow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I
don't know. I'm not feeling that. I'm not vibing with that at all.
It's a no for me, doggy.
Yeah, that's a no for me. It doesn't seem right. But to me, something in her situation, whatever it is that's like calling to her or like making her intrigued in this place, is like a ploy.
Yeah, she's not seeing it yet.
She's not seeing it, but she's like, oh, it's calling to me for some reason, so it must be the right thing, when it in reality is probably the farthest thing from that.
Not good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go back a couple of weekends later, whenever it's Halloween, and they get out of the vehicle. They're so excited. They take an EVP recorder. They take like an actual camcorder, and they want to go investigate this house. And it's just Cindy and Brett. Chastity's not there.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you. And they're walking around the house, catching footage, super excited, like kind of on edge because it's dark outside. It's Halloween. It's kind of spooky. And Cindy was like, they were at the back of the house, really intrigued. And Cindy heard a car pull up and she's like, oh, we should probably get on out of here. So let's go back to our car. Thinking when they got to their car, they would see the other car. There was no car there. And so they were just kind of standing there like debating, should we stay? Should we go? Like, should we go inside? Like, what should we do now? And she said as they were standing there, both her and Brett out of their periphery could just see like shadows, but like not multiple. It would be like you would see it dart to your left and then you'd see it dart to your right. And then I just did my left and rights backwards.
That's okay.
And then you'd see them, like you'd see it just darting all around you. She said you could feel like this shadow just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it felt like everything was moving. The trees were moving, branches were snapping, wind got cold. Like it just felt really weird really quickly. Like it had been like, this is exciting. And then now it's like, we should leave. We should get out of here.
Right.
And Brett was feeling the same way.
Okay.
Like he was experiencing the exact same thing she was. So they both are like trying to get to the truck now. They're like, okay, you get in, I get in, we leave. This is not fun anymore. And as Cindy's trying to get in the truck, she said that a black shadow figure ran directly at her. And when it hit her, it felt like a train had just like ran through her body. Like just like this force. Mm-hmm. She said it felt so strange, but so heavy, but it ran through her. And he noticed she kind of had something weird going on, like bent over, kind of what? And he was like, we got to go. So he went and like helped her get in the car and they left. And they're driving. Cindy's looking out the window the whole time and he's trying to compose himself. Finally, once they get far enough away from the house, Brett pulls over to like recoup, go over it with her. It was kind of exciting, like, you know, when you have that adrenaline rush. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, but she's been looking out the window the whole time and I want to talk to her. And when he went to talk to her, he grabbed her shoulder and she turned around. Her eyes were black and she was hissing at him.
Ew.
And he immediately started praying. I don't think he's a pastor anymore at that rate in time. I think he had been a pastor and then like went on to do other things. Mm-hmm. But he had been a pastor, so he knows all the prayers and things like that, right? And so he started praying and he was like, you have to pray with me. You have to pray with me, like yelling at her. And he was yelling at her, what's your name? Who are you? Like all of these things. Because he immediately was like, this is not Cindy.
Right.
And she remembers being there and feeling like something was inside of her, but also being like, why is he asking me my name? Mm-hmm. Like she remembers him like being like, why is he asking me my name? I don't understand that. And she remembers trying to say the prayers with him and she was really struggling, like fighting to say the prayers, but she could not get the word Jesus out of her mouth. Like she could not get his name to leave her lips. And once she finally fought hard enough and got Jesus' name out of her mouth, it like faded out of her.
Okay.
And she was normal again.
Okay.
And so they went home, which that would be a terrifying interaction.
Right.
If I was ever in a vehicle with Aaron after something like that and he turned around hissing at me and his eyes were like black, yeah, something's happened.
I think throat punch.
Well, I think I'm getting out and running because Aaron's a big dude. I think I'm like,
I'm out.
Opening the door. I'm done. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm out.
I'm running. This is your car now.
Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, so she kind of thought that was it, like that the entity had like kind of scared her away from that house basically. And she thought that the entity was from that house rather than all the other things that have already happened to her. She thought that it was coming from the abandoned house. And so she went home. She felt kind of, good about it, went to sleep. But she said the next day she felt like she was like hazy, out of it, drained, which I think an interaction like that would definitely make you feel that way.
Yes.
But everyone around her said from here on out, her demeanor went from being like a sweet and loving mom to more of an irritable and a hostile type of person. Mm-hmm. Like her daughter said she used to be able to go in there and her mom would be like playing her guitar and singing and joyful. And you could ask her a question and she was excited to answer. And now she would like snap at her and yell at her for no reason and be irritated with her. Like, what do you want? Why are you even in here?
Yeah.
Like, sure, leave, go. And it was what happened? Like, why did my mom change? And everyone around her saw it. Brett saw it. Brett was like, you learn to love this person. You meet this person, you're in love with them. And then all of a sudden they're
not
grumpy and snappy, but sometimes they're back to normal and they're okay.
Yeah.
So
what's going on?
Yeah. They're just like living through it. And Cindy did know. She was like, I know something was with me. I knew something was in my body. I just didn't really know what to do about it. But like, I knew I wasn't me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not someone that's prone to anger.
Yeah.
I'm not someone that likes to be mean. And I am being that way and I don't know why I'm being that way. And so she started to ask Brett, like, will you stay the night some more? Maybe help me through this, like help me figure it out, because I don't really want to be alone. Like something's up and I need you. And so he came and he was staying the night one night, and they were out in the bed of his truck with a blanket, like looking at the stars, talking, enjoying one another's company. And she started to hear that whooshing sound again. And she's like, do you hear that? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hear it. And then Cindy sees the black mass and it's running at her, and it knocks her over into the like tailgate or like the bed of the truck. And she hits her head so hard. Now, like, she can see it. She's fighting with it, but Brett can't see it. He sees her fall and nail her head, and he fully believes something's there. He just doesn't see it.
Yeah.
But he was like, she hit her head so hard. There was no way she didn't have a concussion.
Yeah.
That's how hard it threw her back. And so at this point is when Cindy realized like the black mass was not done with her, and it was not just tied to the abandoned house, and it was more localized to her own home and her own body.
Yeah.
And she also believes now her daughter's story of the dream.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, now it's happening
to me.
And so Brett even told her, he was like, hey, I don't think it's just like a spirit following you. I think you're possessed.
Yeah.
Like he laid it out. Like
how
that same night.
scary is it to be like cognizant of that?
That's got to be so scary.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what did I do?
And I saw what I did to my husband.
Yeah.
Is it going to do that to me too?
Like how far can it get?
Mm-hmm.
How far can it get without me stopping it?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe with her husband, it was an easier path because of the alcoholism.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case, but I do think, let me rephrase that. I feel like I've read studies and stories and situations where alcoholism opens
makes
doors to stuff
vulnerable.
like that, just because it makes you more vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Like one drink, not even alcoholism in general. One drinking can make you more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've talked about that before.
We did. We talked
here.
about it in another possession or something episode that we did.
Yeah. I'm like, we've definitely talked about it. So I'm not saying it's all interlinked, but I definitely think that it could definitely make you more vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So Brett did tell her, he was like, hey, I think you're possessed. Like, I've handled some situations like this, none of this magnitude. But whenever I was a pastor, I kind of handled some things kind of dark. He was like, but we should probably get more help than that. And when he's saying this for the first time, Cindy starts to actually hear the entity's voice. And it's dark and it's like gargly.
Ew.
And it says stuff about Brett, like his ego will be the end of him, things like that. Like it knows stuff
Hates
about him
mm-hmm.
and is in her head when he's trying to help her. So the second he tries to help, it's like, but he's a bad guy and he sucks. Like saying really not nice things to her. And she was like, whatever though, I need help. Like, cause she still was conscious enough to be able to fight with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, yes, let's get help. So they contacted the Roswell, Georgia Paranormal team of investigators. And they began their investigation by walking through the house. There was one named Michelle and there was one named Dan. So Michelle was one of the investigators who felt more like medium psychic type energy. And she could instantly feel that the house was not a great place. And it got increasingly worse as they got to the master bedroom, which is where her husband did pass away. And she said it was just like this overwhelming sense of just like dread and unease and anger. And she just like did not want to be there. And Dan, the other investigator, was carrying an EMF reader, which, you know, is the electromagnetic field reader. And whenever he was walking around the master bedroom, it would spike like crazy. So it like definitely indicated that there was something there, not just her feeling, but like there was something in there. And Michelle also said that she felt like it was the presence of Jim in there, but that he was guarding something.
Okay.
And she didn't know what he was guarding. Like if he was guarding the home and his not his ex-wife, but his wife and his daughter, or if he was guarding like some angry spirit, or like they didn't know, but she was like, I feel like he's here and I feel like he's guarding. Like I feel like a guarding sensation from him. And after that walkthrough, they did an EVP session in the living room. So during the EVP session, Cindy starts to hear that whooshing again, which whenever she hears that, like that sound, no one else is hearing it. And it's now her warning sign that that shadow, that mass is about to appear.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, great, the entity is here. No one else knows, but I know, and I'm about to be possessed again. She like knows that. And so her eyes turned black. and she began hissing again.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing it at Dan and Michelle. She's doing it at her daughter. Her daughter's in the room. Can you imagine seeing your mom
No.
just flip a switch and start hissing at you and have black eyes, like just dark?
Mm-mm.
No.
That's horrifying.
Very scary. So Dan is talking to her. Where is Cindy? Let me talk to Cindy. Who are you? What's your name? And Cindy remembers saying, or like wanting to answer, yes, like I'm here. I'm in here. I'm Cindy, but like can't get it out. She's having to really fight with something. And at this point, Dan and Michelle, they both hold her down and they know they have to do an exorcism, but they have never experienced something so dark. And so they're like, we're not qualified for this, but we know you need something. Like this is definitely not good.
Yeah.
And they were also able to kind of, it says they've got footage. I couldn't find any like evidence of footage, but it said they had recorded the whole thing. And so they were able to take it to like a priest, and the priest was able to take that footage to the bishop, and the bishop was able to approve this exorcism.
Okay.
Based off the footage that they got. But I wasn't able to find any footage. So there might be like names in here that have been covered up or changed
whatever,
and things like that. Because I could not find the footage. So they were able to get her kind of back to a normal state, kind of said some prayers, and she was able to kind of be back to Cindy for a little while. And they were like, we can't get the priest here today, maybe tomorrow. And so Brett stayed the night again to watch over her. And the whole night he secretly is like laying on his side of the bed, hands together, praying over her quietly to himself, but just like consistently in the Lord's Prayer over Cindy. And in the middle of the night, Cindy looked at Brett and she said, you need to stop praying over me right now. And he was like, I'm not praying over you right now. And she was like, yes, you are. Stop. Because little entity in her had been talking to her and told her that Brett was praying for her and that he needs to stop it.
Ew. Ew, ew, ew.
And Brett was terrified. He was like, how does she know that I'm doing this? And then all of a sudden she spoke some language, but Brett was able to understand it because of his theology studies. And he said that she had said, your God bows to me.
Oh.
And he just continued to pray. Like,
I'm praying louder.
We're screaming. Where's the rosary, some crosses, some holy water?
Yeah.
Give me all of it.
Yes.
So he just continued to pray and was like, whatever. And I guess she went back to bed. Like they were able to get through the night. But the next morning, Cindy woke up and was standing in the mirror staring at herself. And she said she remembers she could see the entity within her. And that she just staring at herself, but she could see the darkness that wasn't like her. Which I think is also scary because if you stare at a mirror for too long, you do get really right. Right. It's a very uncomfortable sensation to stand in front of a mirror like that, and to actually see something that's like, oh, well, that's not me. No, where you're standing.
Yeah. I'm good.
So she called for Brett. She's like, Brett, please help me, please. Help. And so he starts saying the Lord's Prayer over her, like, our Father who art in heaven. Like he's going for it.
Hallowed be thy name,
please. Like he's in it. And let her go, like entity, get out of here. And it takes her back down for a little bit. So it seems like if you pray over her, the entity will retreat. Doesn't leave,
right? But
it retreats.
Okay.
And so he's praying. And that same day is the day that the Reverend is coming to do.
God bless.
Bless
you,
Lord.
Father.
It's the same day he's coming, and Michelle is coming back, which was the investigator. And then the Reverend also brings like his assistant. And so they're coming back to do this to help Cindy. And Cindy starts to tell Brett, like, I don't know if we should do this. I don't think we should do this anymore. I don't think it's the right move. And Brett's like, yeah, so we're going to do it anyway.
So we're going to do it.
And they're already on their way. And when the team got there, Brett went outside and kind of debriefed them about what was going on, like what had happened and how right now she's not feeling comfortable anymore and doesn't want to do it anymore. And the Reverend was like, yeah, that's the demon trying to get us to go away.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
we're going to go in and do it anyways,
right.
you know?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So while they're standing outside, they hear this just insanely loud crash come from inside the house. So they're like, oh shit. And everyone runs inside. And when they open the front door to the living room, Cindy is crouched on the arm of the couch, like gargoyle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Like a frog.
Oh,
kinda.
I can see it. Yeah, and I hate it.
That's what's stuck with that's what's in my head. and she's just sitting there staring at them like that. She's getting better, but that actually didn't sound like a gag. That sounded like
It sounded like a tube.
Have you been watching those?
It sounded like one of those tubes.
Yeah. Have you not seen that they make those noises now for that's like the song? Or there's one girl and she's, oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite things. Me and my brother love it. There's a TikTok and it's a girl and she's thrown up in the toilet and the guy's like, but he's not even like, he doesn't actually have it. He's just doing back and forth and it's her puking, but that's the noise she makes when she's puking.
I'm sorry, friends.
A good reprieve. A good reprieve from the horror of the gargoyle.
Yeah.
So she's in a stance like that, perched, and Brett is like, oh, we got to get her laying on the couch. Like, someone start praying over her
right now.
We are not doing that right now. And so Brett runs over there. He's like fighting with her, trying to get her just to lay on the couch, like trying to hold her down so they can start praying, start doing something. And Cindy remembers yelling at him, I will kill you. Like, get off of me. I want to kill you. Like but she knew deep down she didn't want to kill him. She wanted his help.
Mm-hmm.
But the other part of her is like, you need to die.
Correct.
Get away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's fighting him and she's spitting at him, telling him she wants to kill him. And you got to think from his point of view, like, what are
you capable of?
What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
And so Brett's just fighting with her. And then now the Reverend is like, okay, well, I need her in a chair. Like, let's get her to a chair, tie her to that thing, and let's get going.
Tired of that thing.
So Brett gets her in a chair and the Reverend starts a solemn exorcism. So I looked up what that meant. And a solemn exorcism is considered extremely rare by the Catholic Church and must be approved by a bishop before the priest can do it. So I think it's like the full exorcism.
Okay, not
So
just like
yeah, because you can like
and
call a priest to come pray over your house, and there doesn't have to be approval for that. But like if it's really dark, that's where you have to get like bishop approval because it can like start to hurt the priest and stuff as well. And so that's where I think you have to get like the full level of authority to say yes because it's the intense version, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So Father Darren began the exorcism immediately. And Cindy's eyes were black. She's growling. She's contorting. She's fighting. And the whole time he's doing this, he's praying over her. He's, crossing her forehead. He's shouting all the prayers, doing everything he needs to do. And after he was done, she seemed to calm down. And he was like, okay, well, I'm going to test her by giving her the body of Christ, which is communion. So he had like a wafer, like a blessed wafer. And if the demon's still in her body, she will not be able to take part of the Holy Sacrament. That's just part of it. And so Cindy ends up choking on the wafer. Oh. And he's like, all right, demon's not gone.
Here we go again.
And he goes back into prayer immediately. And
Let's go.
He's like, we're not done here. And Claudia, which was his assistant that was also there, she was like, okay, praying for herself because you need to do that whenever you're exercising something. Like, don't come to me next, right? Praying for herself, praying over Cindy, just praying. And she starts to feel this coldness and darkness surrounding her. And Michelle, the paranormal investigator, was actually able to see the shadow moving from Cindy over to Claudia.
Oop.
And right as it gets to Claudia, she's praying, powerful woman probably if she's that associated and just prayer, and it vanishes. And so Cindy at this point is becoming more animalistic, which the father said is now where it seems more like when they get more animalistic and raging and wild is the demon's closer to the surface.
Right.
And so he continues to pray over her and he continues to yell, what is your name? Because giving the demon's name is like a thing of authority and it helps. And the demon did give its name. So then the priest started praying and
calling
using the demon's name.
Yeah.
And it's an authority thing. And at this point, Cindy starts to become conscious again. And it seems like the house is lighter and brighter. And you can feel the presence of God in the home. And it doesn't feel like anything dark is there. And so Father Darren stayed and he counseled Cindy after this. And he was like, you can return to that lifestyle of that demon living in your body. You can very easily. It is up to you to fight it, change your ways, which I don't think she really was doing anything wrong or bad, but like maybe be more firm in your faith, whatever. He counseled her and was like, you can very easily be possessed again. Just because I've done an exorcism on you does not mean you're clean and
immune.
Free. Yeah, like clean and freer. What did I just say?
I don't know.
Clear and free. How was it going?
Clean and freer.
I don't know what I was going for.
I like it.
Clean and clear. That's what I was going for. Don't know where the F came in.
Clear and free?
Something. But he was like, you're not just completely in the clear. You have to live by this. Like, you have to stay strong, stand firm. And she did. She stayed that way. And he blessed the whole house, and he blessed the property. He blessed the shed. Did his X's over all the doors, or his crosses over X's. Did his crosses over all the doors, and did his holy water, and just like blessed the home as well. And she said from that day forward, everything felt good. And like the only outstanding presence was her late husband. And she felt like maybe he had been there trying his best to protect them, but that whatever force it was so strong that he couldn't. And they were able to leave the home. They found another house, and
that's probably a good thing.
They got out.
Wow.
And everything seems to be good.
Wow. That's crazy.
Isn't that scary?
Well, yeah, it is really scary. But like, I just now at the end when you were saying like it seems like maybe the husband was trying to protect, I wonder if like he was experiencing like bad effects from this entity or whatever this was, and maybe felt like the only way that he could protect his family was like to take himself out, because maybe he thought that it was like attached to him if he was able to like get it all, you know, just like not being in his right mind and everything.
Yeah, like maybe take it with him.
Yeah.
Thinking it would go too. Maybe.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
And horrifying.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That was the crouching part is the part that
yeah, I didn't like that.
Definitely stayed with me. Because
I wasn't expecting that.
You could just see like animalistic woman just crouched.
I don't like crouching.
No, it reminds me of like the movie Mama, and they're on top of the fridge and they're like, Mama. And
Ew.
they're all crouched up there. I think they even do it in The Conjuring. I don't know. On top of the wardrobe and stuff.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like crouching.
So I also did a little bit of extended research beyond the story to see if we could maybe dive into some things, which we've talked about possessions before. We've talked about thoughts on why they could occur, or we've covered a lot really. So it's kind of going back over it in case there's people who haven't listened to those episodes, or just to put it all in one. So I kind of looked up like, what is a demonic possession? Just plain and simple, what is it? And it says, within the framework of the Catholic Church, possession is defined as a condition in which a demon takes control of a person's body, but not their soul.
Okay.
And that distinction matters. So in Catholic theology, the soul belongs to God. A demon can influence or control the body, but it cannot own the soul. So possession is not seen as a moral failure. It's not seen as like, what did you do wrong? How did this happen to you? Like whatever. It is seen as a spiritual attack. And then that framing changes how the person is treated. They're not considered evil. They're considered afflicted.
Right.
So you have to help them because their soul is still there. Which was interesting. I don't think I've ever looked that up to like see. I just always thought like the demonic thing is like demons in your body.
The whole of you.
Yeah.
Huh, that is interesting.
I never thought about the two, the distinction of that, like your soul separate. So then I looked up how the church determines this, because I know you have to get the bishop involved and all of that. So the church does not assume possession lightly. And before a formal exorcism is approved, several steps must be taken, which we talked about this, I think in the Annalise, Michelle or Michael, a medical evaluation to make sure that there's no neurological disorders.
That came from that case.
Yeah. Brain tumors, epilepsy, autoimmune disorders, substance use, anything like that, because historically many conditions were interpreted as demonic. So
period.
We've talked about that. And same thing, psychological evaluation, because a mental health professional needs to evaluate for psychosis, schizophrenia, dissociative disorders, severe trauma responses.
Yeah.
And if any of those symptoms can be explained clinically, then exorcisms are denied.
Correct. Which could really, in some, like, I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
I'm not, all these things. But I have seen many instances where people are in psychosis and people who are having schizophrenic breaks and things of that nature based on what I do for a living. And it's scary. These people have like superhuman strength the people who aren't on anything, but are still, it takes 7 or 8 people to hold them down, people that are my size, breaking out of restraints, screaming and yelling, and just literally, like, when you hear these things and you're like, what in the heck is going on over there? Like, it sounds like they're doing an exorcism.
Yeah.
And so us healthcare workers who have that dark, twisted sense of humor, when we hear those things, we're like, oh, somebody call the Pope, somebody call the priest, because we need an exorcism over here, you know, because it's what it sounds like and it's what it freaking looks like.
Yeah. I saw one video and it was a girl in an ambulance and she was like flirting with the medic. And then she like would turn around and look at him and be like, but I want to kill you and you want to kill me and we're going to kill each other. Like, flip.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in the comments was like, I saw her pupils. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I needed to know about what was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that I don't know how I would handle. Like, I don't know how y'all do that.
It's rough. It's the Wild West, let me tell you.
I'm like, it would scare me really bad.
But I've had instances where it's either one been like drug induced, or the other side of that where it's truly psychosis or like some kind of psychotic break.
Yeah.
And it's scary and terrifying.
Ugh.
And very dangerous.
Yeah. I wonder how you truly make the distinction. Like, so say her husband in the story, say her husband went and he thought maybe he needed an exorcism. Maybe he was having all these things going on first. Would they count him out automatically based off of his alcoholism?
Right.
Know?
Maybe. Who
Like,
knows?
would they automatically be like, medical evaluation, you're just an alcoholic?
Mm-hmm.
Like, would they count him out whenever he truly needed the help?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I feel like that's a difficult,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know which line that's crossed.
Yeah. I feel like both of those, the psychological side and the medical side is very, like, those lines are blurry, like very blurry.
Yeah. And then you have to get so many evaluations between so many people that it's like, well, now how far gone is this person?
Right. Because I feel like
they normally get like second, third opinions.
Yeah, because it's hard to diagnose those things. You can't just diagnose schizophrenia like that.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. You know, there's like intense things that have to be, I don't know. It's just very curious as to how they go about their evaluations.
Mm-hmm. So I think so too. The third thing they have to do is get the bishop's approval. It can't be performed casually. It requires some bishop approval. And then the fourth thing is a trained exorcist. So not all priests can perform exorcisms. They must be specifically appointed and trained for this. So you have to have all 4 of those things in order to even go on with an exorcism, which I feel like would be very difficult to get done. And it doesn't sound, I mean, unless the medical and psychological evaluation they did on Cindy was through Michelle's footage alone.
Maybe.
Because
she had that proof.
Snapping in and out, her eyes dark, growling, like maybe that was enough. But they got it done pretty quickly. So I also looked up the levels of demonic influence.
Okay.
So there's 3 different types of disturbances, basically. And one of them is oppression. So that's an external attack. And this might include like nightmares, physical sensations, disturbances in the home, illnesses without clear cause. And it's not that the person's not internally controlled. Like, they're just having things around them that are like taking them down.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's one of the things that like on Ghost Adventures they talk about the most is like oppression.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they just say that a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like
they do too. You're right.
I feel like that's where like I've heard that so much. And then there's obsession, which is mental harassment. And this can include intrusive thoughts, compulsive urges, intense despair, and religious paranoia. And this heavily overlaps with anxiety orders and OCD, which are, scary and intensifying.
Mm-hmm.
And then possession is like full on internal control. So speak in different voices, display of extreme aggression, lose awareness during episodes, and exhibit physical strength that does not match their body, as you kind of have said. But those are the 3 different ways that they go about it to see, would it be oppression, obsession, or possession? Like, which one are we handling?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. So I guess if it was oppression, maybe they would go more for like clearing the home rather than maybe a little bit over the person, but you don't have to have an exorcism like over the person. I'm not sure about that one 100%, but I would say oppression, they probably would take care of your surroundings more. And then obsession and possession seem more like internal.
Going
to
more
you.
into the
Yeah.
human exorcism.
I feel like it would like start with obsession and then turn into possession.
Yeah.
Well, that maybe that's the order it goes into. Like
Yeah, if
1,
you
2,
get
3.
that way, yeah.
And then I looked up what happens during an exorcism because all I've ever seen is the videos where they're praying and screaming and contorting and just all the
power of Christ compels you.
They're scary.
Yeah, they are scary. I'm scared.
Have you ever watched the one of the Bobby Mackey's one?
Probably, yes.
Oh, he's just screaming and it's scary. And I'm like, oh.
And it's like,
I don't like being yelled at in a normal day-to-day situation. So something like that and getting yelled at and like having a bunch of screaming and I would be very uneasy.
Especially when it like starts as just like what it is.
Yeah.
And the priest is there and they're doing their prayers and they're doing their things. And then things just get more and more and more intense because it's like, are you scared? Like, are you scared? Is that why you're getting louder and meaner? Like, what's happening?
What's happening?
I'm going to need you to talk me through this a little bit.
Help.
Help. Why are we yelling?
All that's in my head right now, honestly, is the scary movie whenever they're doing that one. That exorcism.
Every time I think of an exorcism, I can't even remember what the name of that movie is. It's like The End of the World or something. And it's some like parody movie and like Jonah Hill is in it.
Oh, I don't
and there's
know.
like a bunch of celebrities in it and they're doing an exorcism on him. And he's like, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. And he goes, is it Jay? Is it compelling me? Is the power of Christ compelling me? And he's just like standing there, like giving him shit for it. It's so funny.
I think a scary movie where she comes downstairs and they're all singing around the piano. Then she starts peeing right there. And they're like, shake that ass. Watch yourself. Shake that ass. Show me what you're working with. And then she goes upstairs and the priest comes up there and she's like, has her tongue out. And then the priest is doing it back. He's like,
that movie is comedy gold, dude. One of the best
they're making a new one
ever
of those
made.
too.
I know.
But that's where my brain goes when I think of an exorcism, which is horrible because exorcisms are real.
They're serious.
It's so intense. That's just what goes through my brain because I've watched Scary Movie way, way, way too many times. Like,
and we probably started watching it way too early.
It is a comfort movie.
Yeah.
It is 1000% a comfort movie. I could like think of the whole movie right now when he's like, talk dirty to me. She's like, I'm gonna shit on these walls, right? That is not what he meant. Oh,
no, literally.
That is one of my favorite quotes out of a movie ever. And they make fun of the
so many quotables.
Dude, Where's My Car movie. And I feel like I think High School Musical wasn't made yet, but I don't know. Yeah, and then he's in the wheelchair and he's like doing it too. Oh, goodness.
Oh, it's so good.
I love it. I love it. So back to what actually happens during an exorcism.
So back to the serious part.
Yeah. The ritual comes from, I feel like those are one of the things we need to have like a side quest, like some sort of music that leads to where we're about to get off tangent.
We're about to get off topic. That's a really good idea, actually.
I feel like we need that.
Bringing it back.
To warn
Reeling it back
somebody.
in.
Like I promise this all
we'll get back
happens
to
in
the
one
point.
fell swoop. But okay, so the ritual comes from Ritual Romanum.
Oh yeah, Rituali Roman. Yeah, I remember talking about this. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Rituali.
I don't either. I can't
Don't have a PhD.
I have talked about with my mom, like in the future, whenever I have children, homeschooling them. And my mom was like, oh, like you're smart, but like I graduated college and spelled congratulations wrong on my own graduation sign. So, but it says the rite is structured, not chaotic. It includes litany of saints, which is calling upon saints as spiritual witnesses, scripture readings, especially passages referencing Christ casting out demons, direct command, which is the priest commanding the demon in the name of Jesus Christ to leave. The language is firm and that's the one you hear like over and over and over again. The holy water and the crucifix, these are considered sacramentals, which are physical objects believed to carry spiritual grace. So the last thing that the Vatican did in 1999 was update the rite to remove any medieval phrasing, emphasize psychiatric screening, and clarify that mental illness must be ruled out. So the things we've talked about prior, basically.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. And that's kind of all the research I did on the exorcist side of things or exorcism side of things.
Yeah, because we've talked about it in a couple of different episodes.
Yeah, we've kind of covered it in a few different places. So there wasn't a whole lot more, but I just wanted to throw some stuff in there And if there's more y'all want to learn about, and if you haven't listened to our exorcist episodes or exorcism episodes, then go find them. They always say exorcism in the title.
Yeah, I feel like we did when we talked about Lee Sober Shapiro and then Annalise Michael. Whenever we talked about those, I think we dived into it.
Yeah.
Pretty decently, as far as you really can.
Yeah.
Without going to like a
too
religious library and diving into the act of exorcisms and
going to the Vatican.
Yeah, calling up the Vatican and being like, "Hey, bruh,
where are them files at?
I need to see some files. I have some questions.
I have questions. Take me to your lower level."
Yeah. Take me under the church. I have things that I need to talk about on my little podcast. Thank you.
Please, thank you.
Blocked.
And done. We will be found.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's all I've got. The story was spooky.
Very.
I hope you imagine someone crouching on your couch, on the arm of your couch, or maybe at the end of your bed, or maybe on your dresser at night, or any of the above.
Mm-mm.
Maybe in your back seat. That would actually be kind of funny because I just slam on the brakes.
You got ghosts up in here, cuz?
Oh gosh. But yeah, if you liked it, like, comment, subscribe, all the good things. Go join our Discord. It's so fun and free.
So fun.
It's suck and fun and free. And we got a good community growing over there. And then we've got our Instagram, our TikTok, a Facebook group, all the good things. And if you have any stories or recommendations, send them to sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com. And with that, we will see you on Friday.
See you on Friday.
Bye. Bye.